This is my favorite local tree. It seems to be self-sustaining. It has all three crops, and I've seen wasps go into all three, and even my relatively small tree that is now in its third year, it was self-sustaining this year. So on this crop, they start to swell up and turn a little bit yellow. You'll see them emerging. Look at that one just came out. Emerging from the eye. There's hundreds inside each one. And the end, or near the ostiole of the fig, is where the pollen is. I'll cut one open later so you can see. And as they exit through the eye, they get covered in pollen, which then they transfer into the female figs when they come in. So what I do is I'll pick these, and then I'll place one or two every couple of trees. Oh look, there's another one coming out. So like this. See, I stuck one here. I know this tree's really close to it, but it can't really hurt. I do get some that are very receptive, and so some figs will get over caprified and they'll blow up, but for the most part that doesn't happen. So here's another one that I placed in here. So that's typically what I will do, is set them throughout. These are just a couple of my smaller trees at my house. I picked a few and I'm going to go set them around, and I'll be back to cut one open and show you what the pollen looks like inside, and then I'll also see if I can get a couple of shots of some of them entering the female figs. You'll see the glistening wings that they leave behind as they enter the eye. Look how many are in there. They come out, stretch. Oh, there's one. You can see it flexing its wings, getting ready to fly. They just keep coming out. A very unique little shape. Kind of peaceful. Wind's blowing, birds are chirping. This is one of the reasons I've always loved gardening. Just getting to enjoy the beauty, being calm. I tend to run very fast-paced, and one of the few times I can slow down is when I'm playing with my plants. Looking for a new home. This is Bordeaux nigerrimata. Apparently this size is popular because it's got a couple of them trying to go in. The size right now is about a little bit smaller than a nickel. We'll come back later. Oh. In the background you can see all the wasps still emerging. They'll keep coming out for a long time, and all the trees that are close to this, I should be able to reach them. It's a pretty calm day. We'll come back later and see if we can find the wings. There she goes. Pretty excited that she decided to join that fig, because this is Cosmemano. I've only had one or two figs off of this, and they were like January or December, super late, and they were uncaprified, ripened with cold weather. Now I'm excited. This one I put up against my house. There's a nice big wall here as well. See that one that just entered? Another one's walking around, but One of them just, oh, there it goes, just disappeared inside. Almost. The ostiole is so small that they lose their wings. Those pretty little wings, they get scraped off. So they enter and sacrifice themselves to be able to go in, and thinking that they're going to be laying eggs, but instead all they do is make for fantastic figs in these female ones. Let's see if you can see the wings. Oh, there they are. This is Blanche de deux Saison, however you say that. I don't speak French. I speak Spanish, but not French. You can see the little glistening wings right there. I mentioned how sometimes at the right size, they just go crazy, line up one after the other. Well, that's what's happening right here. Look at all those wasps. Too many trying to get in there. This is one that may blow up, but sometimes they don't. If you get too many in there also, sometimes they can go bad and spoil. They're everywhere. Oh, there's another one. I can see, it's hard to see on the camera, but I can actually see little glistening wings on quite a few of these here. Oh man, it's going to be an exciting year. Look at them. They're just crawling all over the place until they can find a nice receptive fig. One interesting thing I wanted to point out was here where we have the wasp, there are seedlings all over the place. And because fig trees are so beautiful, I'll see them oftentimes growing in people's yards as an ornamental. And I talk to almost everyone I see. I'm kind of nuts. I want to find out if there happens to be something unique and something great. And I found so many people that are, oh, my mom planted this, or this just started growing, but we don't really like figs, so we don't eat them. And what I've found is oftentimes you'll have a pretty looking little fig like this, but then you crack it open and it's a caprifig full of wasps, full of pollen, and disgusting. So if you happen to have this in your yard and you tried eating one of those thinking, I'm going to try figs, well, that might explain why so many people think that they don't like figs, because that is not appetizing. In here you can see the different style. The top, you can see the more rounded ones, that's the galls where the wasps form, and then they emerge from that when they hatch, and they'll climb towards the bottom here. You can see a slightly different shape of flower, and those are covered in pollen. You can see the little powdery flecks there. If I was to shake this out, you might see a little bit of pollen come out. Whoop. Or I could just drop it, because I'm trying to do this with one hand. Oh, there's a little bit, and some wasps falling out. All right. Any questions or anything that I forgot about, just let me know. Now's the season. I just got back from Costa Rica, and the first of my caprifigs are getting ripe. So I'll have them for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So I'll repeat this process of spreading them out every couple of weeks. I'll go and place a few around so that the figs that are forming later that are not receptive right now, those can continue to get caprified, and I'll do that as long as I can. I'm growing about 40 plus varieties of caprifigs, specifically to test them out and see which ones have the longest season. The first one's ripe, the last one's ripe, because caprified figs are just spectacular. All right, hope you enjoyed it.